Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Fashion Week Studio Live. Today, we have the amazing Norma Baker, creator, fashion designer, founder of Red Berry Woman. She will be joining us shortly. Carissa, thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Official Queen, how you doing? Indigenous Paradigm, thank you. Ruth Martin, how you doing? Leonard Bowers, thank you for joining. Big Wave. And, all right, here we go. We're going to bring in Red Berry Woman. Hi!
Hi!
Good morning to you. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you? It's so good to see you again.
It is great seeing you as well. And I love those pieces in the back. They're awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Why don't we start off with that? What am I looking at?
Well, you're looking at a gentleman's jacket, which has the buckskin lapels with my signature design thread work. And then also a buckskin top here. This is completely buckskin with my design work on it.
That is stunning.
And then in the back there, we have a dentalium shell there. So yeah, those are some pieces that I've been working on. We actually were supposed to have a show in honor of Native American month. But unfortunately with COVID, it just got a little too scary to have people come and then North Dakota got put on the flight list. So my models, had they flown here, would have been stuck here for about So I wanted to spend 14 days in North Dakota during a pandemic. So, we're looking at a later date for that. So we're
nice. Well, I see that you're all ready for it. That's the amazing thing.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, our viewers, this is the magnificent, amazing Norma Baker, creator and founder of Red Berry Woman. So, here we are. Big question for you, because I see all the magic that you create, but I want to know, how did the magic begin? Where did it start?
Well, being a Native American fashion designer, of course, goes back to my roots. Mm-hmm. I am a member of the Hadadza people, as well as the Dakota Sioux and Assiniboine tribes. I grew up learning cultural practices, sewing, beading, doing different types of things. And so in doing so, I never really thought of those things as fashion traits. Mm-hmm. I never thought of that. Although I love fashion. I love everything about it, And it just never dawned on me that I could put the two together. Not until actually about 5-6 years ago. What had happened was I got asked to design a dress for a young lady who at the time was holding the title of Miss Indian World. Wow. And so she does a lot of presentations and whatnot. And she said, do you think you could make me something that's a little lighter for me to wear? Because of course she owns a buckskin dress, and I'm sure at some point it does get a little hot and whatnot, and hard to the fear of just having your work just around so many people, trying to make sure you take care of it so well. So it is easier to wear something a little bit easier to move in and to do these types of events. She was a very hands-on young lady. So anyway, so she had called me, asked me to make what we call a ribbon dress. It is a dress that is made of the ribbon strips, the satin. So that came from settlers coming in and trading us for different items and stuff. And so that overseas. Well, it became really popular with a lot of tribes. So I said, yeah, I'd love to. So I made her a dress, and she said, do you think you can make me 3-4 more colors?
Oh, wow.
So we started doing that. But what had happened was I thought, I kind of wanted to mix it up. I wanted her to have something a little different. So I started doing ledger work on her skirts, on the dresses. And it took off from there. Next thing you know, you know, I've been getting calls. Do you think you could put your design work on a shirt for me or for this and that? And it just was phenomenal how I never even thought about putting what I had learned culturally into an everyday wear. You know,
Wow.
People wanted to represent who they were tribally, but still wear the contemporary clothing that we wear for different events, whether it be a ball or speaking engagements, political speaking engagements. I've done a lot of work for people who are in the political realm, you know, our tribal leaders. So it's amazing because I feel like with every piece that I create, it goes, I get to be part of that event in some way. So
Wow.
that's kind of how it went. And the next thing you know, I'm being asked to be on the runway and okay, let's do it. And so, you know, I started creating from there. And then, so thanks to social media, people were seeing my stuff and I was getting invited throughout Canada and I got invited guys to Paris and one of the most phenomenal things in my
Which was great, by the way. Your designs were immaculate, beautiful, stunning.
I have to say, I really have to say, you and your wife are doing such a great job in keeping us designers out there during this pandemic. And I check your Instagram and I get to see all the designers that, you know, some of I met in Paris and it's nice because it's a bit of a reminder that there's more going on and we have to remember the good things that are in this world and what's happening and not let go of those things. So to you and your wife, I want to thank you. You guys are doing such a great job and just
thank you.
The fashion industry, and I am so happy to be a part of that. I'm just honored. So yeah.
Well, we are so happy that you are a part of it.
Thank you.
Because you're a large part of it, and we appreciate you, and we love you. We love your work. You know, you just bring so much magic to the whole scene, and we respectfully appreciate all of it. And we have Fashion Week Studio. Let me give a shout out to our team because our team. They all love you. They embrace you, and we so all appreciate you.
Yeah, they were such phenomenal people, and I had never been to Paris ever. I think Canada was about the most I had really gone my whole life because I growing up, I danced. Well, I still dance at powwows when I get the chance, and so I would travel throughout Canada. So to leave and go to Paris was something like, wow. And everybody was so welcoming and everyone was so great. And getting to meet, I was a little like, oh my God, a little overwhelmed because the designers had such magnificent garments and everyone was different and unique in their own right. And I was just, and I remember, I have to tell you a funny story. I remember watching this one gentleman and he was real, you know, he was getting his models ready and whatnot. And I was just adoring him until he used the iron and I couldn't get it back from him. Friendly too. But yeah, it was phenomenal.
I'm going to make a note right now. Have more irons.
One from the hotel, but they didn't have one in Paris, so.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, you know, aside from being an outstanding and amazing designer, you are also an elected official.
I am actually not an elected official. I actually work for an elected official.
Got it. Sorry. Pardon me.
Government staffer. And so I've been working for my people for years now. I think since I was about 20 years old. I started out in the so a lot of work, you know, actually sitting in court, and I was a lay advocate for our people. So,
wow.
Yeah, so a lot, and I really thought I thought I was going to head down the path of law, but it just really wasn't me. I mean, I loved it, but it wasn't me. And then, so I took a break from that. And then soon after, I was asked by one of our elected officials. She was at the time, she was the only female sitting on our tribal council. Our tribal council is our government. We are a sovereign nation. Our elected officials make decisions for us, impacting us on our laws that are here on the reservation, how we work with the state and work with the federal government. So I really was. I'm immersed every day, you know, in that type of procedures, and it's just amazing to see. And so to do Red Berry Woman and to be able to still work for my tribal government, because for us, it's not just politics. We have a lot of culture that's involved in our decision making as well. You know, a lot of prayer, a lot of things that go back to our roots. We try our best to keep those.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's difficult for us because here I belong to the Hidatsa, like I said, but the Hidatsa are actually one tribe that belongs to what's called the three affiliated tribes. There's 3 tribes here that have nothing to do with each other culturally, but because the government was putting the Native Americans on reservations and we just happened to be in the same area, they were, well, you guys all come and you're on this reservation. Wow. So to create laws and to create things that are I guess culturally based on our reservation is a little more difficult, just because not every tribe believes or practices the same way when it comes to culture. So to put that into a government procedure and protocols, it becomes very difficult. But we do the best we can. Of course, we all pray to Creator and hope that the decisions that are made are the best for the people. So I get to see that firsthand. And wow. I at the table with these with people, especially the councilwoman that I work for, and I still work for her. She's got so much knowledge and she's got so much historical, knowledge as well as cultural knowledge. And then, being on the government seat for so long, I just admire her and adore her, wow. And I to her that I still get to see these processes because, even though I do fashion, even though that is my passion, that is something I love to do, at the end of the day, it's, I try to think holistically about what impacts our people. Even me going to Paris, I tried to do the best job I could in representing my people, because no matter where I go, I'm not just representing myself, I'm representing a whole tribe. And I want my people to be proud of me. So I try my best to understand the decisions that we make and how they impact us. And who knows, I don't know if politics is in my future, I'm not sure, but but I'll probably still be sewing after work every day. So that's a huge influence. So I'm involved culturally, and in our practices, and then as well as, like I said, the government process. I get to see that, and it's phenomenal. We're the generation and the generation after us that are going to be taking over. So it's really vital that we pay attention, do our best to be good to one another and to just strive to be better. So so that's me, 8 to 4:30 every day.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I want to share something with you as well, which is quite personal, which is my great grandmother on my mother's side. My great grandmother was full-blooded Cherokee. And my great grandmother, sadly, was part of the Trail of Tears.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, and so my grandmother and her sister would sit me down when I was a little boy and tell me of the stories that their mother told them about that whole situation. And wow, yes, it was horrible. Yes, it was horrible, but there was something strong about the spirit that could not be broken, and to hold on to cultural values, which can be the center of oneself, community, and so on. This is what they helped me to understand. Now, interestingly enough, my mother's father, his parents, his dad was African, and his mother was full-blooded Mohawk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, so I'm very fortunate to understand, the experience,
Right.
the different, the cultures, and there are differences. There's a difference
Mhm.
between Mohawk and Cherokee, and I
Right.
understand that. So as you're describing the differences, as well as the commonality, I understand exactly what you're saying. I understand exactly what you're saying.
We
So
we celebrate each other's differences, but we unite in that strength, and that's always been Indigenous people. That's how we've survived. So is that mental state, and I remember being told when I was younger, if it wasn't for, because well, I don't know if how many people that are watching that have met Native Americans, but we sure like to joke, we like to tease, and we like to have fun and make, even at the worst situations. We're laughing. But I think that, and I don't think that is where we survived, because
yes,
we
that's
weren't
right.
able to overcome things, with our mentality.
Mhm.
We would have never made it with the attempted genocide on our people, and that's
Yes,
exactly what it was.
it was.
Um, so yeah, so I mean, I love that about our people, is
Hmm.
that that we have that ability to look at something and not be so serious about it,
Hmm.
but yet when we're pretty scary. um, so yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, is that I try to learn as much as I can about other people, and their background, as much as I possibly can, and not just Native Americans, but all walks of life. It's and that's what fashion has done for me, is open the doors to meeting so many different people. Even watching your interviews, and it's crazy because we have so many similarities. We're human beings,
Yes.
have so many similarities. We have dreams, we have hopes, and and so I just feel that, especially during this pandemic, and during this turnover of election, it's so vital that we try to find good and try to treat one another well. So um, I'm so fortunate to have the support and love from my people to do what I do. And I try to do it as respectfully as I possibly can.
Hmm.
I don't want to disrespect anyone in any way when it comes to my design work. So I try to do my research when other people from other tribes have come and asked me, can you make this garment for me? Can you make this? I try to find out where they come from, if they're Native American, what tribe is that, what design work does their tribe do? And then of course, some more about them, what's their native name, which mine is Red Berry Woman. That's actually where my company name is from, is my native name is Red Berry Woman. That name for us means so much. And that's why when I'm creating a garment, I try to find out if they have a name, because for us, names are what we're going to be called when we leave this world. That's
Mm.
our, there's more to it than just, it's our identity, it's our link to the other side. I mean, so there's so much more when it comes to a name. So I try to find that out, and then I try to respectfully do research on their, tribal designs and whatnot, and still keep it Red Berry Woman, still keep it who I am. So a lot to that process, which is why my garments are custom made, which is why they are, you're not going to find another one in the world like it. So, and of course, with a lot of Native American designers, Indigenous designers, you're going to find that. That's why their work is so valuable. So you're not going to find that anywhere else. So, and if you do, yeah, you shouldn't buy it.
Listening to you, it now makes sense to me. Your fashion show in Paris, when you joined us in Paris, was very aesthetic, and um, it had so much life to it and so much beauty to it. You injected into Paris something very special. And talking to you now, I understand now what that was.
Right.
Everyone in that room felt that and felt what you were communicating. And as I'm listening to you now, it now makes sense. The good feeling, the feeling of something very large and big, is what your show was and what you allowed us to participate in. And now talking to you, I understand now. And I want to say, well done. Like that is beautiful. That is amazing.
Thank you.
And we would like to see more of that because, you know, I think the beautiful thing about, you know, fashion, it creates for us a symphony of just beautiful designers from everywhere. You know, at Fashion Week Studio, what we're blessed to see is, or are all of these wonderful designers coming together to create this symphony. And let me tell you, you know, your contribution to that was so amazing. And I tell you, it left us all with something very special. We felt it. We felt your communication through not only your designs, but the presentation of your designs.
Yeah.
It was all amazing. And so talking to you, I just want to say now it makes sense. It all makes sense now. I get it. I get it. And well done. And congratulations. And thank you. You know, thank you.
Hard to convey on the runway for people who are not accustomed to seeing native artwork. So I call it artwork, even though this was our everyday wear. You know, the hides and the design work and the beads. I mean, those were the shells. Those were our everyday wear. And so,
wow. If
you're not familiar with those types of materials and how they were used, I guess it's a little, like you're saying, it gets lost in translation somewhere. And then of course, once you do see something that compares it, it's like, oh, wow. Okay. Now I get it. So, and that's I would only do fashion shows that were really just for native fashion shows. You know, I really rare when I would go out of that element because people wouldn't get it. But, you know, in doing fashion, I've learned so much. I've learned that you really can't limit yourself. And that's what fashion is. It's a tool to teach people, you know, about yourself, about your people. When you were talking to me about your grandmother telling you the stories of the trail and whatnot, you know, I say beautiful because our oral traditions are beautiful. Our oral passing things on to our children. And that's wonderful to hear that even though the event itself was a horrible event, it should have never happened. It's important that we know that part of history, just as it's important to know the past so that you don't repeat things that you shouldn't. So it's beautiful to hear our elders speak and our young ones to take note and listen. Though it's vital for us to pass these things down. I think with native fashion, that is our way of, and I've always said this, is that of embracing our past, and I don't want to really say accepting, you know, what's been happening to us, but to show that we're still here. So it's the old and the new coming together, and that, you know, you might have tried to, you know, to wipe us out, but it didn't work. We're still here. Right. That's right. That's right. That is beautiful. I think that's what native fashion is to remind the world, you know, we're not only here, but we're everywhere. We're in fashion, politics, we're in medical fields, we're in the law, we are creating a country. So proud of the people who come from Indigenous background who have made, you know, made it into seats, into, you know, Congress, into the Senate, and, you know, everywhere. Now we just got to work on that presidency. That's right. It's amazing. I think our people, so when I was little, it was really rare to see people doing things that were kind of, I guess, out of the box. And now it's wonderful. And I don't know if that's just because it's social media and now you can see what everybody's doing. That's a good point. Except for the celebrities. But thanks to social media, we get to partake in everybody's victories. And, you know, people who are winning seats, you know, in political seats and making influences there on the state and federal levels, and people who are, you know, becoming doctors and you know, finding cures for all these diseases. We get to partake in all of that and be proud. And as Native people, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I know that it's a feeling of community. It's a feeling of I'm there too. I'm sitting with her too. I'm sitting, you know, I'm sitting at the medical conference, and I'm so proud to hear that one of ours is, you know, created, you know, medicine that is helping the people. And I try to remember that when I'm on the runway. When I was in Paris in particular, it was tough I was fighting back tears, you know, when I walked my final walk with my husband. And it just, the reason was because that wasn't just me, that I brought my people with me. My people were with me in that. And that's the beauty of social media, is that you get to experience the things with them. When one does good, we're all doing good.
Yes.
That mentality we have.
And that's a beautiful mindset, and it's a consistent belief that I've found, no matter what tribe one is from. It's interesting that most tribes have that core belief, that not only are we responsible to ourselves, but we're also responsible to others, our families, and our community. And I think that you represent that very well, because you on many levels brought that.
Thank you.
You so communicated that in your show, and so listening to you now, it makes total sense. And as you're saying what you're saying, I'm recalling your show, and it totally communicated that. So yeah, you've done great.
And we have a long way to go. You know, I like I said, I live on the reservation here in North Dakota, and we're not without our problems. Right now, our reservation in particular, we had an oil boom happen on our reservation. Oil product. Wow. It's brought its good, it's brought its bad. Okay. Unfortunately, the bad is bad. It's brought a lot of people to our communities that are not originally from here. They're from different cities. They came to work, you know, things like that. And I'm not putting blame on anyone. I'm just saying that in the last 10 years, our development has really been impacted by so much. Our people have been impacted by so much. We're struggling to with drugs and alcohol, of course, and of course, you know, when you say that, you know, people think, oh, well, there's all kinds of people that are struggling with drugs and alcohol. It's different for Native communities. It's different for us because we are all connected in one way, shape, or form. So when one person's impacted, we're all impacted in some way. Wow. Because we live in a rural area where services they're not readily available to us. So we have people out there who are fighting for these things to help our people, whether it be in the medical field or whether it be in, you know, with the legal, the legal aspects of things, you know, new laws that impact us. So I try to remind people that, you know, that we're still feeling the effects of that attempted genocide. And I don't know how else to put it. I know it sounds horrible, but
I totally understand.
So for me to be able to do my fashion, something that I've loved to do since I was a little girl, and to still be home among my people, it's a bit of a struggle because I don't want to move someplace where, you know, if I had moved to California or, you know, I'm sure that fabrics and textiles would be so readily available to me. But I don't want to leave home. I want to be here among my people. And so it creates a complexity for me where, you know, I'm not able to just go downtown and get the fabrics I need and whatnot. You know, I rely a lot on, you know, mail system, and I rely a lot on traveling to the nearest fabric store is like about 2 hours from me. So, So,
Wow.
and not, it doesn't have a whole lot of variety because I live in North Dakota and everybody quilts here.
Okay.
So, so yeah, so there's all these things that I have to, to do what I do. I got to go that extra mile,
Yeah.
and that's what I do to stay home, to stay and want, stay here among my people, to have my children learn the culture firsthand. So it just, and who knows, maybe down the road I will move away. I don't know, but right now I just feel like this is the place I need to be. Not only that, but this is the place I'm most inspired. This is the place where I get the motivation and the ideas to create the things that I do. And I get so excited to see everything, out in the world, and
Wow.
our people, representing things. So, I've had some huge blessings, seeing my gowns like on the Oscars, the Grammys. So other people's victories, I get to share in that. And that's, it's amazing. It's amazing where fashion will take you. So
Yes. Yes. Look, I love your commitment to your community, and that responsibility is a lesson for us all. Thank you for sharing that. Now, you mentioned the Grammys and the Oscars.
yeah,
Tell us.
I still can't.
Those are huge,
words.
huge accomplishments.
Yeah, and the thing is that I call them blessings because I was just happy to be making gowns for people that were just happy to be wearing them, and to hear that, and to be asked to create something for, the Grammys, and then to see my dress on the Oscars. So what had happened with the Oscars is there's a young lady by the name of Alice Brownotter. She at the time was, I believe, 13, I want to say 12, 13 years old. She, during the pipeline protests on the Standing Rock Reservation, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but it was,
yep.
right.
I recall that.
Right. It was a no DAPL protest. And she is from the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation. My husband is from there as well, and so are my children. So, and of course, they are our reservation right next to us. They're our neighbors, So what had happened was, I'm friends with her mother, and her mother had called me and said, Alice is going to the Oscars. Do you think you could dress her? And I'm like, well, yeah.
Wow.
I didn't care if she was like just driving by the Oscars. I'm like, yes. And so and it was literally like the night before she was going to fly out. And so they couldn't give me details about what it was. It was kind of a hush hush thing. And I said, yeah, come on down. So they came over and they tried on a dress, which happened to fit her perfectly.
Wow.
Just fit in with what they were asking her to wear, which was black. She was asked to wear a black gown. So she wore that gown to the Oscars. Now here I am at home in North Dakota watching the Oscars, because of course the Oscars they're the Oscars, so, and I'm hoping to catch a glimpse of her walking by, and I'm going, oh, I hope I get to see her, and all excited. And of course I didn't. And I was like, well, at least maybe she'll send me some pictures. Yes. And so I continue to watch the show. The show had started, and Andra Day, who was performing her song, which was nominated for Best Song in a Movie, Stand for Something, Andra Day, they were performing on stage, and next thing you know, the lights behind them start going off, and there's people standing behind them, and there's Alice.
Wow.
They lit it up. It was, I still get goosebumps telling this story.
Wow.
Not just to see my dress, but to see this young lady from the Standing Rock Reservation.
Yes.
I believe she was all of 13, 14 years old at this point. Wow. She was just so empowering. Like just to see her it brought tears to my eyes, and wow. It was wonderful, to see.
What an amazing blessing.
Yeah,
wow.
To see one of our up there and in my dress.
Yes.
And on the Oscars, I'm like, and I'm texting her mom and I'm saying, you told me you were going to the Oscars. You were on the Oscars. That's what they told us, you know, and
Wow.
they are some of the most humble people I've ever met. Because I'll tell you, what, contract or not, I'd have been telling everybody, watch the Oscars. I'm going to be standing up there. You'll see me.
That's beautiful. Absolutely.
And
wow.
They were just so humble about it. They were just, they knew the meaning why she was up there. Andre Day had asked these activists to come and join her on stage, because at the time we had the Me Too movement, which was the reason for the black dress. The dress that she wore, and I would show it to you, but it's actually going to be displayed in our museum. So it's being prepared to be on display in our new museum here on our reservation.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so that's where it's at. But it's the shell work that I do on a dentilium corset, and it just it blew my mind that, you know, she was there and that she had been doing all these great things, you know, and
wow.
Wow. Social media blew up. They blew up, and I was actually deemed by social media as the first contemporary Native fashion designer to have a gown worn on the Oscar stage. So
that
it's
is
a title
amazing.
that
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is huge.
I owe it to Alice. I owe it to that young lady and her strength.
Wow.
That's what I mean when I say, you know, we share each other's victories. We
Yes.
take each other, we take our people. And you could see when she was standing on that stage, any other young child probably would have been, you know, so nervous. But she held herself with such poise. She held herself with strength. And
wow.
Amazing. It was amazing. So yeah, so
she's very bold. She's very bold, and you provided her with something that complemented her boldness, and both of you shined that night, and the whole community shined that night.
Yes.
Again, that's amazing. That is, as you say, a blessing.
It was.
That is.
It is.
Now, you also.
Yeah, the dress, the Grammy dress wasn't on the Grammys, but there we have a reporter. Well, her name is Corrine, and she's fabulous. If you guys are on Instagram, go follow her, Corrine.
Okay.
Corrine Rice. She had called me up, going to the Grammys. You think you could make me a dress? Yeah. So of course I love I love not the Grammys. The Grammys. I told her, I said, I wanted to do some research and stuff, which I did, to kind of like the style that people wear to the Grammys, but also keep it very elegant. And she just looked phenomenal, and I was so proud of her, and I was so, you know, she got to be there on the red carpet, and she got to be at the show, and
amazing.
Yeah, so River,
that is amazing. Wow, as you say, blessings. Those are big blessings. Wow. Definitely. Another big blessing. You recently won the International Indigenous Designer of the Year Award.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Another big blessing.
That these awards were going to be held. They were actually going to be held up in Canada. And because of the pandemic, unfortunately, they had to be virtual. So, like so many other things, you know, it was taken from us not to be able to, you know, participate, you know, physically. But fortunately, I've gotten an email saying, hey, someone had nominated you for this award. And I'm always, I'm always so honored and blessed, regardless of the reason why someone brings me up or mentions me. Just the fact that people are thinking of me and including me in anything, you know, it just still, to me, to this day, you know, I don't find one thing more important than the other. I mean, it's just, all the support I get, it means so much. And so to have this award, be given this award is just, it was fantastic. It's fantastic. So and that was actually because I showed in Paris, and so that's
wow.
that.
Wow. Wow. Congratulations. Congratulations. Now, you're now doing a signature couture pieces, and you're also designing a ready-to-wear line for the spring.
Yes.
Now, this is in honor of your daughter.
Yeah. Right.
Cameron.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So 6 months ago, I lost my daughter, Cameron Saray. Her native name is Holy Spirit. We found out early in our pregnancy that she was going to be born with trisomy 18. That is a really rare condition in which causes problems with, internally with the child, and it's on an array of spectrum of what can happen. So it's really one of those things where you don't know if you're going to carry full term. You don't know if your child will be born alive, or you don't know how long, if they are alive, how long you have with them. Mm-hmm. Minutes, it could be hours, days. For us, it was 23 days. So passed away after 23 days of life. And I don't know how to explain the loss of a child. It's something you can't put into words. It's even harder when you have to watch them suffer, and that was a hard decision to make, whether or not we were going to go through and have her born and then take the chance of her, having complications and suffering. And I'm still to this day learning about the condition. Even though it's gone, I think it means something for me to continue to learn about it and see how I can, give back to the people who gave so much to us when she was born. Even though we were in a pandemic, the hospital that she was born in, they allowed my family to be there with her. My parents were able to come in. I know right now, women who are having children, they're only allowed to have their significant other or one other person with them. I was allowed to have everybody with me. The hospital went above and beyond. One of the nurses had told me that she was only the third case that she had seen in the time she had worked there, and she'd been working there for 30 years. So that's how rare, that's how rare her condition was, and for her to be alive, and fighting the 23 days that she did. And it was, I can't put into words that whole thing. And what had happened when I was going through that, my husband and I, my children, I have 4 stepchildren, and I have a son that I've given birth to, and then Cameron. So my children, they went through this too as well. My whole family, we're all affected by this, and it's a huge loss still. We're still grieving, we're still healing. I don't know if we ever really will be completely healed, but I made a promise to Cameron when she was alive that I wasn't going to let my grief succumb everything in my life. And that's what I was scared of, was that the grief would be so difficult. I wouldn't do how I was before. I wouldn't, have the motivation or anything. And, had my daughter lived, I truly believe that, she would have been right by my side, learning these things and learning her culture and learning how to sew and bead and to put dresses on the runway. I really believe that. And because the creator had a different plan for her, I promised her that I would continue on as Red Berry Woman, and I would do my best to try to make it more than what I had already been doing. I'm not formally trained. I've never been to school for fashion. Everything I've learned has been taught to me by my mother, my grandmother. Or it's just me making it work. So it depends are a big thing. So this whole starting this ready to wear line, I'm not a ready to wear person, fashion designer, or I didn't think I was. I, it's taking a little bit for me because I'm having to learn things that people have gone to school to do.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
taking a little bit more to learn the process, but I'm determined, you know, and I want to I want to I want to make it work. I want to bring this out in her, something new for me and something that is going to take a lot of work and be a huge accomplishment. I want that to be in her honor.
Wow.
Once we get that going, we're looking at the spring. I don't have a definite date yet.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get that going and out there, I do want to have a percentage of the proceeds are going to be going to, for the first year, they're going to be going to the Trisomy 18 Foundation, to give back to
Oh,
the people
wow. Wow.
who went above and beyond for us, the 23 days, you know, medical professions, you know,
Mm-hmm.
agencies, the Trisomy Foundation. They are phenomenal. And every case is different. Every child is different, and you know, we call them little warriors because they fight every day, you know, to be here with us. And so the 23 days my daughter gave me was her gift to us, you know. So and I cherish it always, and I still can't believe it's only been 6 months since that all occurred, you know. And
Yes.
you know, anybody who's a parent, it's your worst nightmare. And
Yeah.
to live through that, I can't explain to people the strength it takes to just see the light of day the next day. So,
Wow. I
but for
understand.
what strength I have, I do believe that's coming from my daughter. You know, she's willing that to me somehow, and to my husband and my children, and we're moving forward. So,
Wow.
so yeah, so that's where
Wow.
that I'm, you know, hopefully the ready to wear pans out. I know I have my fellow native designers who have been ready to wear for a while, and they've been saying to me, you know, you need to get a ready to wear line out. So we're good. So, you know,
Wow.
male
Wow.
push, we're gonna do something. So
You know, I just, I'm in full admiration of you. Uh, for you to give uh, back to your daughter life through your art and through the creation of, and I'm just calling it a ready to wear line, but through the creation of the pieces that you will design, that it's almost like, and pardon me for saying this, just it's almost like you're giving her life through
yes,
your art, through you know, through your designs, and
right,
and every piece. I'm excited to see it because to see what you design for this spring collection, and to see what you design for your signature couture pieces. When I look at them, I'm gonna know your daughter through those designs.
thank you.
And I think that is something very special that you do. And I just want to say, you know, again, I admire you. Your community, I'm sure they're very proud of you. And I know why, and I can see why. And I'm excited for you, for your future. I'm excited to see what you continually create. We at Fashion Week Studio, we're excited to have you back on the runway, because that life that you're going to put into those into the show will connect worldwide. Because as you know, during the fashion shows, we have people from all over the world, and the way that you touch them, they'll take that, you know, and they'll expand it, and it'll be just an expansion of you and of your community and of your daughter. And so I really appreciate what you're going through, what you've been through, and how you're handling it. I have to say, it's a lesson to us all.
Thank you.
It really is. Thank you.
I appreciate it. And I appreciate the support that, like I said, you and your wife and your company have given me. It's phenomenal. I love it. And it was such a pleasure to meet both of you, you know, in Paris, and to feel how you know, just want to showcase so much beauty, and you know, you have that passion, and it radiates from both of you, and it's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
We need more people in the world like that, who are willing to applaud others, and willing to, you know, shine light on people, and shine light on the good. And like I said, that's what fashion does. It brings people together. It teaches people. It, you know, motivates people. And you're right. My daughter will live on through my work. She'll live on through so many things. We believe that as Native people, that we bring our ancestors with us, whatever we are doing.
Wow.
We do is to honor those who were before us, who fought the fights to make sure that we're still here. And I believe that when you live your life, when you try to live your life, I'm not saying I'm no better than anyone else, but I just truly believe that when you try to live the best you can, you're honoring that struggle and fight that your ancestors put before us. So there's so many things that I want to share with the world, and I want people to realize and know about us, and to know, you know, just feel like they can be welcomed into learning. You know, I tell this to some, I get that question all the time. Can I buy your dresses even though I'm not Native American? And I tell people that is exactly who you should be buying from, is from Native Americans, Indigenous artists. You know, make sure it's authentic and you're supporting the artists that creates it, you know. And then I think it's beautiful when people want to wear something that an Indigenous designer or artist has created, no matter what walk of life they come from. I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful that they want to share that with everyone else that they know. So yeah, you guys are doing just that. You know,
Thank you.
people to come and share what they have, well, who they are, and celebrate that. That's what fashion is. We
That's right. That's right.
So,
That's right. And we are very blessed to experience that.
yeah.
Because you're absolutely right. What you described is exact. And we totally appreciate all of the designers. And what you're saying is exactly right. We just completely enjoy the symphony of the
Yeah.
fashion shows, and we get something from everybody. I have to say, you're full of you, Norma Baker. You're full of love, wisdom, and courage.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate you sharing that wisdom with us today on this interview. I'm very excited about your future, and we appreciate you sharing your designs with the world. It's something very special. It is very, very special. And so I now know why your name is also Flying Horse.
Yeah. That comes from the Standing Rock Reservation, the Standing Rock Sioux people. That's my husband's people. So, and my yep.
Beautiful. Please tell your husband I said hello.
Yes.
We look forward to seeing them soon as well as seeing you soon. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for doing this interview. I'm excited about the future for you. We are looking forward to seeing your signature pieces and the spring line. You know,
guys as well, and let's pray this pandemic ends soon, and we can, you know, it'll be sooner than later. So
that's right.
Stay safe. You do your best to stay safe, and of course your wife, give her my love. So
I sure will. Thank you so much.
You have a great day, and I'll visit with you soon.
Absolutely. Take care. You do the same. Bye-bye.